No.
Rob, wake up.
No. TV's Rob is unwoke. TV's Rob is unwoke.
He's unwoke.
I say put mental health first, because if you don't, then you're not going to enjoy your sport and you're not going to succeed as much as you want to. So it's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself, because it shows how strong of a competitor and person that you really are, rather than just battle through it. And it's been really stressful, this Olympic Games. I think just as a whole, not having an audience, there are a lot of different variables going into it. It's been a long week. It's been a long Olympic process. It's been a long year. So just a lot of different variables, and I think we're just a little bit too stressed out, but we should be out here having fun, and sometimes that's not the case.
All right, well, welcome to it. I am TV's Rob. This is TV's Rob is Unwoke, and releasing episodes a little bit quicker this time around because there's been so much going on, and I've actually carved out some time to actually do it. So, hey, let's get down to it. The Olympics. The 2020 Olympics and 2021 are underway, and the big news story of the week has been the mental meltdown of one Simone Biles, the gymnast who practices in a leotard that has a goat on it, signifying she thinks she's the greatest of all time. People have hyped her up as the greatest of all time. But what has she done in these Olympic Games? Oh, if you live under a rock, you don't know. But for everybody else, did you know she withdrew from the team competition and she's withdrawn from the individual all around? Oh my God. Now, was it because of injury? Did she break a leg? Break a bone? No, she didn't. So what has forced her to withdraw? Oh, is it that time? I mean, as a female competitor, is it that time? Nope. Is she pregnant? Nope. So what is it? She needed a mental health day or mental health week, because nobody knows if she's actually going to compete next week in any of the individual events. Her Olympics may be done without her actually competing, all while being out there in Tokyo, taking up a roster spot for the U.S. team when they could have been using somebody else. Now, luckily they have an alternate, but an alternate is an alternate for a reason. So Simone pulling out led to the U.S. team getting silver instead of the expected gold, and Russia getting the gold because the star player bowed out because of mental health problems, mental health issues. She needed a mental health day. Tyler Morgan joins me on this episode to talk about it because he has a unique perspective on what's going on. And after hearing so many people criticizing her, he has his opinion and he wants to share it with everybody. So Tyler Morgan's coming on to talk about it and we're going to hash it out. But I have to say, I see his arguments, but at the same time, I question a lot of it because of the things that she says. And we'll get into that. But before I get to Tyler, I do want to share some quick stats, okay? Currently, approximately 46.6 million people are living with mental illness in the United States. That's 1 in 5 adults who will be living with a mental health condition at some point in their lives. Many people manage their symptoms with therapy, medication, eating a healthy diet, or exercise. Probably both, let's be honest. Now, research has shown that the benefits of exercise can boost moods and improve overall mental health. By moving our bodies, we can increase our endorphins and other hormones that the body naturally produces that make us feel better. Allows us time to concentrate on ourselves instead of our busy lives, a much needed break for many of us. Now, of course, athletes and playing sports are not immune from mental health issues. With pressures to perform in the game as well as in the rest of their public lives, being an athlete can be challenging for a lot of people. Now, among professional athletes, which is what I would really consider her, data shows that up to 35% of elite athletes suffer from a mental health crisis, which may manifest as stress, eating disorders, burnout, or depression and anxiety. So maybe this is where she's at right now. Don't know. Not a whole lot has been said other than she's not really feeling herself. She wasn't feeling her performance. Basically, she's suffering from a case of the yips. Don't know. I don't know. Now, I don't want to dismiss what she's saying in terms of her mental health. As somebody who suffers from anxiety myself and ADHD, I completely understand the mental health aspect of it. For me, the only way to really get through either a period of time where I'm having really bad anxiety or having a really hard time concentrating is to either medicate or just push through. Now, obviously she wasn't able to push through. And she's not the only athlete at the Olympics that has more or less bowed out because of mental health issues. Now, this one isn't directly related. This one just got bounced out in her respective sport. And that is Naomi Osaka. But she did pull out of the French Open a few months ago because of mental health issues, needing a mental health day. And for those who don't know, Naomi Osaka is a tennis player. And not only is she a tennis player, but she's also one of the women featured on the cover of the Sports Illustrated 2021 swimsuit edition. Oh, that's right. It's that time of year. The swimsuit issue is out. And what do we get to celebrate this year? Sports Illustrated has decided to showcase the most diverse group of women to date, which includes a slew of plus-size catwalkers and a 57-year-old, quote, stunner. This year's 3 cover stars are tennis player Naomi Osaka, who I just mentioned, Megan Thee Stallion, who has now become the first rapper to appear on the cover of the issue. Who the hell is Megan Thee Stallion? Can somebody explain this to me? And Lena Bloom, the first trans woman to appear in the issue and on the cover. Hooray, diversity. Now, you got to feel for the people in this year's edition of the swimsuit issue, because in years past, the models got to travel to exotic locations. I remember Kate Upton going to Antarctica for her photo shoot. But, of course, COVID kept these ladies home, and they had to shoot their photos at the Hard Rock Hotel locations in California, Florida, and Atlantic City. You gotta, like I said, you gotta feel for them, because that's just lame. But hey, in total, 25 models and 13 finalists from the brand's nationwide amateur model search get their glossy day. So who all is in this thing? Let's take a look at some of them, shall we? Camille Kostek, the 29-year-old from Connecticut, hosts the TV game show Wipeout on TBS and has had several film roles. She's also been dating Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end Rob Gronkowski since 2015 and is also a former Patriots cheerleader. Yumi Nu, 24, is the publication's first ever plus-size Asian model. She's also DJ Steve Aoki's niece. Yay! Kristen Harper, 28, was selected from the 2021 swimsuits model search. She's been dating Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff since 2019. Hooray! Emily DiDonato, 30, and she's back for her 6th swimsuit issue, and she's 19 weeks pregnant. Hooray! Maggie Rollins, a first-timer. Then we have a YouTube vlogger. Then we have a model who apparently was pregnant at the time of the shoot, didn't even know it. Now, I mentioned that there's a 57-year-old, quote, stunner, and that is Kathy Jacobs. So, hey, nothing like a 57-year-old in a bikini, right? Then you have rookie entrepreneur Katrina Scott, 37, with her own fitness empire. She's a co-founder of the health and lifestyle community Tone It Up, geared towards busy women and mothers. Then you have a former Victoria's Secret fashion show model. Then you have another plus-size model who's also a vlogger. Then you have the trans model as well. So, congratulations to Sports Illustrated on your most diverse swimsuit edition ever. Woo! Looking at the talent lineup, there's only a handful here that I would really pay to look at, so can't say I'm really excited about it. But hey, we all know what happens when you go woke, all right? I wonder how this edition's going to sell compared to previous years. I mean, nobody looked at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition for plus-size models and trans people, okay? Everybody looked for one reason and one reason only, to look at hot chicks in bikinis. Now we can't even enjoy that. It's like Playboy deciding that they're no longer going to publish nude photos. The insanity of it all. It's just so stupid, and I don't get it. And if that is enlightenment and being woke, it ain't for me. Obviously.
He's on woke.
The Olympics, the 2020, but the 2020 Summer Games held in 2021 because of COVID and the coronavirus is now going on, and Team USA is really letting us down. And joining me is Tyler Morgan, because he really wanted to talk about Simone Biles. Now, I don't know if he's got like this childlike pedo fetish for her or something like that. Maybe he's into the dark meat. I don't know what it is, but we're going to find out. So, Tyler, how's it going, man? Welcome back.
It is going. Yes. Just want to let you know, according to the rules set forth by one Andrew Heaton, but this being the third time I've been on your podcast, I am legally your co-host now.
Yeah,
so.
I was actually going to say, why don't we just start making this a regular thing, man? I mean, I'm down.
Yeah, well, so the Simone Biles thing, it kind of caught me off guard earlier this week. I saw an article where people are losing their minds because she does tricks that are just way too complicated. And just like, wait, hold on a second. Let's back up. Let's look at this. So at the 2021 U.S. Nationals, she landed this amazing routine off the vault, where they get the running start, they hit the spring pad and go off the horse and do a trick. Well, it was something Russian with a triple pike craziness in it. I don't even know the name of it. It's so insane.
Which means it doesn't have a name because it's Russian and you can't pronounce it anyways.
Yeah, I had it looked up and then all kinds of crazy trying to figure it out. But basically what she's doing is nigh impossible. And that has been her thing since she first got discovered in the 2016 Olympics. And she's an amazingly hardworking athlete. And my kids, when they were little, they did gymnastics. I have seen the work that goes into even 8-year-olds and 6-year-olds learning how to tumble and all that. Even at that age, there's a lot that goes into it. I remember my 8-year-old son being able to balance just on his hands upside down and like a sitting cross-legged with his butt up in the air. It's just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I couldn't do that if I wanted.
It's really interesting because when you say how hard it is, I mean, it's hard for men, but then when you consider the women, as they're training, as they're getting older, I mean, they undergo a lot of physical changes that actually they don't go through a lot of physical changes because they're training so much. Their hormones are all out of whack. They don't develop the same, I would say, figure as most girls their age. I mean, you look at them, I mean, they're all very thin but muscular, and they have no boobs, they have no ass. They're not exactly model-esque, but at the same time, they have like zero body fat. It's really weird. But we don't want to talk about the way that the women look. We want to talk about the way that they are performing on the gymnastics field, court, whatever you want to call it. So, Tyler, what is it about Simone Biles that has you going right now and brings you to the table tonight?
All right. So what I was saying is about when you take her abilities and you level it off, and she can no longer exceed and be graded higher than what her ability can allow. That's like taking CC Sabathia, the old cupcake for the New York Yankees, the amazing closer, and saying, okay, your signature pitch, you can't do it because Major League Baseball says it's not fair to the opposing team because they can't hit it.
Okay, well, and yeah, that's really dumb.
So that's what I was saying. It's like, yes, the margin of victory, like Dominic said, doesn't matter if it's quarter of a second or a quarter mile. But whenever but when you hamstring the person who should have the edge, just I was going to say, I was asking before our internet went all wonky, or my internet is. Let's be honest. Let's put the blame where it lies. It's all on me.
Yep.
As I was asking, who's kicking ass the most in NASCAR right now?
That would be one Kyle Larson.
Well, okay, that'd be like NASCAR coming into Kyle Larson saying, okay, for the rest of the season, you get a restrictor plate.
Well, that would be really weird, seeing as they're already running tapered spacers.
Yeah, it shows how long it's been since I've watched NASCAR.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, that's... well, what's funny is that when you mentioned that, interesting thing is NASCAR has already come out and basically said, yeah, those Hendrick Chevrolets, we're definitely going to be monitoring them more closely going forward. Thinking that maybe they have gained some sort of unfair advantage. I'm thinking, well, if they pass tech pre and post race, I don't understand how that could really be the case, but okay, you guys do you. That's fine.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Oh yeah. And then, going into today, at the time of this recording, Simone Biles, she did her first run for the team gymnastics event. And for Simone Biles, she sucked.
And she says she wasn't 100%. Feeling it.
Well, and because what she said she was going to do was a Euroshenko 2.5, whatever that means. But she only did a 1.5. And then when she landed, she went to a really deep squat and stepped forward to catch her balance, which was, like I said, for her is really crazy because, and a lot of people have been just putting her on blast on, social media. Well, how are you the GOAT and you're going to do this, GOAT? Come on, GOAT. What are you doing? You're the greatest gymnast. Why are you withdrawing? It's like, okay, I'm going to speak from the position of as a person who suffers with mental health problems. Yeah, I have PTSD. It likes to come out in the form of not generalized anxiety like the crazy, CIA analyst lady. But, I have like very acute anxiety, and I'm a mess. Whenever it kicks in, oh my God. Because my body just dumps all the adrenaline. So I'm experiencing the 3 Fs, none of which America runs on. Fight, flight, or freeze. My body's doing that. My brain's trying to figure out why the hell my body's doing this. And I can't focus. I can't function. I know how it goes, and you just start to spiral. Now, and I can see from that aspect why Simone Biles would go, okay, my anxiety's already screwed up this routine. I could try to push through it. But, and then if she starts to spiral because she gets caught up in her own head, it throws off her other routines, the floor, the uneven bars, and the balance beam. And so I think she did the right thing. Go, you know what? I cannot do this. We'll use our backup, something Childs. I don't know her first name. I'm a horrible Olympics fan because I don't follow the entire U.S. women's team.
Well, honestly, nobody cares until it's time. And even then, good luck remembering the names. I mean, you remember one or two from certain events and everything, and then
yeah.
And with Simone Biles, with her situation, I mean, she's been the person who has been out front and center with the Larry Nassar thing, the pedo doctor.
Right.
She's had all of these endorsement deals, and she's done all of these commercials. She's got a train wreck for her family. But she's the person that's out there, and she's 24. This is her third Olympic Games. And, it seems really weird that on the day of, she needs a mental health day. And, there's this column from the New York Times where they asked her, what's your biggest achievement of your career? She says, downtime. When she's asked, what are you looking forward to most during the Olympics? Her response, it being over. I guess a lot of people are kind of putting her on blast because they feel like she has this flippant attitude towards the games. And you mentioned the phrase at the very top here. What was it? Athletic equity, sport equity.
Yeah, sports equity. And I know it's a stupid phrase, but you see a lot of it. I mean, that's, we're seeing it with college football with the whole, name, image, likeness ruling where, well, these guys they're getting a college education, but, the college is profiting off of them. They deserve something.
No, they don't. They're getting a free college education, free room and board. They're basically like, they got the men on campus that nobody messes with. And, oh, wait, they have people who do their classwork for them.
And depending on where they're going to college, where they have a full ride scholarship, as long as they're playing football so up to 5 years, if they're a super senior with fifth year eligibility, you're looking at upwards of $80,000 a year, or more, if they're play for an Ivy League school on a full ride. So I mean,
exactly.
So they're being justly compensated. I mean.
Exactly. And honestly, I mean, the difference between a professional and an amateur when it comes to sports is an amateur doesn't get paid. Professionals do.
And even amateurs, as far as like a semi-pro goes, they get paid. They don't get paid a lot. I mean,
I got paid like $125 a game playing soccer.
Yeah. I went to a wedding last weekend. As my wife's best friend's little sister, her husband played European League semi-pro basketball. So I mean, we've seen what that looks like.
Yeah, he couldn't be making that much money at all because you're talking about European basketball.
Which,
I mean, that's kind of our sport. That's kind of our thing here in the States.
Yeah, it's one of the few sports that we've actually invented. It's wholly in America. We didn't take a European sport and then Americanize it. So,
exactly.
But you'd be surprised.
Or a Canadian sport.
I mean, if you want to compare shuffleboard and curling, I guess we can. Although I will say,
we can go with that.
Although I will say, it's one time in I was
at band camp.
Let's not talk about where orifices got filled with instruments. That's neither here nor there, people. But no, it's one time.
That's such a product of the generation,
right? But no, it's one time in Canada, and I went to a fight, and all of a sudden a hockey game broke out. It was the damnedest thing.
Absolutely.
And you want to see people having fun with hockey? Go to a semi-pro hockey game.
Oh yeah, those
They don't
guys
give
get
a
after it.
crap.
No, of course not. Well, I mean, most of them understand that this is as far as I'm going to go, so I'm just going to let it all hang out while I can.
Yeah, when I was
until my body can't do it anymore.
Yeah, when I was at Fort Benning for infantry school, they had military appreciation night for the Columbus Copperheads semi-pro hockey team. So all the trainees got to go and fill up the stadium. And it was about half hockey, half fighting. It was great.
Yeah, which is what you would expect.
Oh, yeah. But then she, like I said, she going back into Simone, she drops out because of, anxiety, which, like I said, I've been there. I know how that goes where you just spiral, you get stuck in your own head. And I've seen, Steve Dace and all these other people, big names. What is this? Just crap on America Day? Because, we just also had the U.S. women's soccer team just eke their way into the actual elimination rounds.
Yeah. I'll talk about that. I've got that shit on lock.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to the last episode, but I have that shit on lock.
Yeah, because they had lost to Sweden when you did the episode that you talked about it. And then, at the time of this recording, they tied with Australia. And like you said, they eked their way in to the eliminations. And it's like, really? You go 0-1-1. Now suddenly you can try for the championship. Okay.
Well, they went 1-1-1 with a goal differential of 2. They had the same record as, I want to say, New Zealand, or I guess Australia, because one of them could still make it in, possibly as a third place team, but they lost to Sweden 3-0. Then they beat the Netherlands 6-1. Then they tied Australia at 0. I mean, to not even score a goal against Australia.
And
you're the number 1 ranked team in the world, and you couldn't muster a good performance in the group stage of the Olympics. And now the way that it's going to play out, you're either going against Brazil or damn it, I had that
Swaziland. They're going against the Swazilanders.
Yeah, let's see, it's Brazil and I had it, but now I can't find it.
This is riveting podcasting.
Absolutely.
But no, and I say a lot of these people who are just crapping all over because of she felt she did the right thing, which, like I said, she gave someone who was a backup a chance to shine, and Childs did amazing. I mean, they still took silver as a team with her stepping in as an alternate. And then it's like, hello, she still.
But the team was expected to win gold, and she may not come back to do the individual events. She may just be done.
Well, as for right now,
she's talking about not coming back.
As for right now, she has not withdrawn from the individual events, and is 100 conversations I've been fighting with people back and forth on Twitter is that just because you have a crap day with anxiety, depression, blah 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 blah, you name it, doesn't mean that you can't go get your shit together, get recentered, refocus, and come back and just nail it on the days of the individual events because, okay, I found my center. I'm good to go. Let's do this. She hasn't withdrawn from the entire, from every event, like the girl who pulled out of the tennis tournament. She pulled out before she even got started. Now she's done.
All right.
So, I mean, I think there's a huge difference in that where it's like, yeah, there are people like, oh, she let her team down. Okay, well, it's a team that's composed of, single events. It's not a team like in football where if Tom Brady is having a bad performance, if his defensive line or if his offensive line and his running backs are having a good game and they can pick up his slack, where Tom Brady having a bad day for whatever reason, they can still win because there's a lot more to it than just 4 people doing individual events.
Well, I think that with her, I mean, she was doing the morning practice. She landed, then grabbed her bag and walked off. Her fill-in, her replacement, had 30 seconds of floor time before she had to go and actually do the thing. Well, so she left her team. She left her team in a really bad spot. A team that was expected to win gold has to settle for silver, and she's talking like she might not come back because in previous games I would be willing to tough it out and just go do the thing, but not this time.
Well, like I said, I think that she'll end up kind of refocusing, recalibrating. And even then, I was, watching her practicing where, okay, now she knows that she's not going to be able to get this score or get this max score on this super complicated. And if anyone who is not Simone Biles tries it routine where she could, so now she has to recalibrate what she's doing for the event. And watching her practice, you could tell she was not into it at the practice the day before. And you could see she was having,
and she wasn't even into it with the previous events. I mean, she has not done good. She has not done well this Olympics at all during these games. She's been way off her game. And I'm wondering now, I don't know what the average age is, but I'm going to guess at 24, she's on the old end of the spectrum.
She will be retiring as of this year. Once the Olympics are done, and I think there's some other events afterwards, but this is her last season. And she was asked by the AP, okay, if you believe that they're scoring you different because you win all the time, or because you're just way so far out there above your competition, why do you keep pushing yourself to do these ridiculous routines? And she said, for me, which, I mean, it's a great answer. It's like, you know what? If y'all aren't going to judge me based on my ability, you know what? Screw you. I'm doing this for myself just because I can.
Okay, but when talking about the games, though, she was saying that she's backing out, and she says that she's not feeling it because she feels like she's doing this for somebody else. She's doing it for other people. She's not doing it for her. A lot of her statements have this selfish connotation to it. When you read the quotes and you listen to the interviews and everything, it sounds very selfish and very self-serving in terms of the things that she says. But then when you look at the bigger picture, you can see where the issues are. But I'm wondering, she's a professional athlete that's been doing this for this long. She should know how to, get rid of the shakes. I don't understand what is different this time for her that all of a sudden now she can't handle it. Oh, I need a mental health day. I can't do it. So I'm sorry.
And
it just seems really weird to me.
And like I said, that's understandable. And like I said, I look at it from a different perspective because of my history with stuff, and so and at the same time, if for a long time we looked at soldiers and said, soldiers don't need mental health; they're tough. Look at them.
You guys might be physically tough, but the stuff that you guys get put through,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure you guys are fucking jello by the time it's all done.
And it feels like
I've never questioned anything when it comes to the mental health of our soldiers.
And even within the military for such a long.
But those button pushers can kiss my ass.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, seriously. All right. It's like the drone pilots. I have PTSD from pulling the trigger on a joystick. Oh, God. But
I'm in the military. I'm helping.
For those of you who cannot see what I'm seeing in this video, he was holding up a video game control stick just to make a good point.
But
Exactly.
But again, it's like within the military, we've had all this for so long. Watch the movie Patton. You had the soldier with shell shock there in the hospital, combat fatigue. He slaps the shit out of him, says, "Get this man to the front. He's a coward." There was for a long time, we did not understand how all this affects us mentally in the military. And battle fatigue. Send him back to the rear to go weave baskets. Because he's useless up here. We brushed it off for so long, and then we finally started to get a handle on it. You can't handle getting shot at, you pussy. And so then you put the stigma about behavioral health, and we wonder why we have veterans and soldiers, the 22 a day campaigns. And I think that's why I'm seeing a lot of stuff going with Simone Biles on this, is that it's similar to me, looking at from a slightly different perspective of, she's the greatest of all time. What do you mean she has to pull out for this? Oh my God. Can she not handle the pressure? She's been doing this for so long. And like I said, I may be in the minority, and that's fine. If I gave a damn, I wouldn't voice my opinion. I just, nod. Yeah, right. Sure. Like I said, I think there's room for grace, because I said, I've been there. I know what it's like to see a soldier just melt down, even not in a combat deployment. Well, technically it was a combat deployment. We were pulling security. But I've seen soldiers melt down and be on the verge of suicide. And it's like, but these had previous deployments where just everything's kind of boiled over. And when you're feeling like, okay, I have all this pressure on me from sponsors, from fans, from family, from coaching staff, networks, and all these spotlights, it can take even the most iron-willed person. You've watched Super Bowls where you have unflappable quarterbacks just fall apart. So it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you have teams like the Atlanta Falcons losing
28-3 lead.
Exactly. I mean, who does that?
Right.
Who does that in the Super Bowl? A bunch of fucktards? I mean, come on, a 28-3 lead. You can't hold it.
Yeah, they got that 28-3 lead at the end of the first half, and they stopped playing to win, and they started playing to not lose. We've all seen what happens when teams play to not lose. They always lose.
Exactly. You lose. And that's basically what you just said right there. That's exactly what happened with the U.S. women's soccer team. Today it was all about not losing, because they knew if they lost, they weren't going to make it through, but they didn't play to win. They were playing conservative. They were passing a lot more. They were playing more open at times, but then they started just closing ranks and just they were playing possession soccer.
Right.
And that is the worst. That is the worst, especially with the caliber of talent that you have. But at the same time, they don't give a fuck.
No.
And I'm willing to bet, I actually went back and looked, and they are playing the Netherlands in the first round of the elimination rounds, otherwise known as the quarterfinals. Yeah. And they're ranked in the top 10 around the world. If the number one team in the world has struggled this much so far,
they ain't got a chance.
I don't see them winning a gold.
No.
I don't see them going all the way.
I don't see them getting bronze at this point.
And then players like Carly Lloyd, who have been spectacular over the years, are going to go out on a down note. But then, and she's one of the good ones. But then you have Megan Rapinoe, who's going to sit there and she's going to I'm pretty sure blame me for it.
That's because you're a white male. It's all your fault. And,
Well,
and
yeah,
you're-
that's what I
and
meant by me.
You're a cisgendered heteronormative white male at that.
Absolutely.
I guess I'm in that category
And
as
I'm
well.
very, very unwoke.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm very unwoke.
I think it's in the name of the podcast. It's really weird.
Exactly. That was the whole reason.
Right. And and this whole playing to not lose thing. If you take that and you put that same philosophy onto, Simone Biles, who, yes, she got the shake, she couldn't get over it, and it screwed up that one performance. And then now I'm gonna have to be conservative on the floor routine, on the balance beam, and the bars. Even though I'm gonna have to check myself, and it could throw off her whole performance. And even then, like I said, it goes back into okay, if they're they're expected to win gold, and the person who's expected to carry that team just kind of phones it in just because, crap, I've got the nerves, and I've got the shakes, I just can't get over them, but I'm going to push through it, and they still end up taking silver or bronze or not even placing at all, then that comes in looking even worse on her as the person expected to carry the team.
Mm-hmm.
So
and with the team already, nabbing silver in the team event, I mean, how else can you? I mean, how can you not feel like you let your team down because you were the person? But I mean, I understand her I understand her reasoning on not pushing through on one account, and that is, when you said, what else could be wrong? Well, if you're not feeling your body as you're up in the air and about to land and everything, if you're out of it, you risk major injury. Yeah, and at 24, I would hate to think of her not landing and breaking her neck, or something worse. And I mean, I understand her when she said it's not worth it. The severe injury. She's absolutely right.
Yeah, and I think even if she doesn't withdraw from the solo events, and I think this is really going to weigh on her, and hopefully she uses that chip on her shoulder as a good thing, as a motivator to go, no, I've got this. I'm going to prove them all wrong. I mean, that's what I hope. I mean, I've always been a fan of her ability.
Just not a fan of her.
Yeah, she kind of. But
okay. I have to bring it up because I can't hide it anymore. I am in awe of her ability because she has done things that I have never seen before when I'm checking out the Olympic Games and everything. She is absolutely phenomenal at her craft. There is no denying it. Damn, I can't stand watching her on TV. I can't stand looking at her on TV.
She has
because
a personality
everything that
deficiency.
she does, she's got the resting bitch face on point, and she's got absolutely zero charisma and personality. Now, Michaela Maroney, in one of the Geico ads that she's in, she freaking nails it all the way through. She's the girl that became a meme during the Obama years with the whole not impressed.
Oh yeah, when
she's on point.
Yeah, when she got selected to be an alternate for the Olympic team, but she wasn't a mainstay. She was just there just in case. Which,
she did competed in the individual events and.
Yeah, I think she was the alternate for the team.
And that's where the not impressed thing was. Yeah, she was an alternate for the team, but she did nab a silver for an event, and that's where the not impressed meme came from because of her the look on her face.
She's got one of those faces that don't hide what she's thinking.
Exactly, and I respect that. I respect that in a woman. I want to know what they're thinking just by looking at their face, because otherwise you don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
It's like, does this dress make me look fat? No, dear, not at all. Nope.
And scene.
It's like, no, the dress
but-
does. Shit.
Exactly. Yes. Throw the dress out. Just don't wear it. In fact, don't wear anything. You look fine. But I'm wondering. You talked about taking that chip on the shoulder and using it as a good thing, and coming back stronger and competing and just taking everybody behind the woodshed and beating the ever loving shit out of them. Unfortunately, this is my bold prediction for the 2020 and 2021 Olympics.
Sweet meter of death
She does
strikes
not.
Tokyo.
I was thinking more like Godzilla rises from the ocean, but I'll take that.
That's so passé.
I know, and
giant
it's so like
fire-breathing
stereotypical and
lizard
racist.
monster just leveling Japan. Come on,
Godzilla! Oh, sorry. But
he's not saying
my bold
Godzilla,
prediction
he's
is
saying Gojira.
exactly. I don't think she comes back. I don't think she competes. And the reason I say that is a lack of desire in terms of, like I said, the quote's very off-putting. I don't see the desire there this time around, but I think that with everybody putting her on blast, then you have a whole other section of the people that are completely explaining it away and saying, you know what? We need to look at ourselves as a society. We're putting too much pressure on these athletes to perform. So
The only people
they've already given her the out.
Oh yeah, I've already seen that. One Jeff Fisher twisted. He tweeted a link to a story that
he twisted it.
Oh, he's good at twisting things, especially if there's food to be squeezed out of it. Oh, damn! Did I just say that? Sorry, Jeff.
Are you trying to say that he's overweight?
Perhaps.
I mean, he is athletically overweight.
Yes, athletically.
You don't get a body like his or nothing.
I won't lie. At work today, I saw a driver who makes Jeffy look svelte. Yes,
I'm sorry, what?
Today at work, I saw a driver.
Yes, that pause was intentional.
I saw a driver.
Before anybody wonders, that pause was intentional.
I saw a driver who makes Jeffy look like a svelte individual.
Picture it didn't happen, bro.
Stay tuned on Twitter. He'll be back.
All right.
He'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure I can get him waddling in and out of the truck.
Sweet. Make sure you do, because we're going to need that.
But
okay, so go ahead.
I was going to say, just trying to watch this man who makes Jeffy look small pick up a barrel and put it into the back of a semi-trailer. It wore me out just watching him, and I still had 5 more barrels to put in the back of that stupid trailer.
Oh, man.
And they're only about 120, 140 pounds a piece. I mean,
only.
It's not that hard to pick up and lift, 5 feet off the ground.
Oh yeah, not at all. I mean, even with my bum knee, I could do that. Come on now.
Dude, I have a bum everything, and I can do that. Yay, 80% disability from the VA.
I still have the metal cage around my leg, so I've had that thing on since October. This thing sucks.
Oof.
So now, do you? Let me ask you: do you think she comes back and goes out on a high, knowing that she has nothing else to prove? She's already racked up all the accolades. Does she come back and finish the Olympics strong?
Will it be a Michael Phelps strong? No. But I still...
Well, she's already blown that.
She blew that, but I think she'll come back and take gold in at least one of her individual events. I'm hoping it's the vault with this ridiculous
with the case of the yips.
Yeah, this ridiculous case of the whatever the name is. That I was reading an article about it where a judge said that straight up said, we're not scoring that as high as we should because we don't want to influence other gymnasts into trying things they can't do. And it's like,
See, I still think that's crap. When you say that, it sounds like total crap.
Yeah, it's like
judges would intentionally go out and say, you know what, you are just too awesome. Now, I mean, this explains so much about my life, about why I didn't get to do certain things and why I wasn't selected for certain things, because my level of awesomeness is just too much for some people to take.
right, and it's like I said, you see all these stupid things. Earlier this summer, that there was the sprinter who she was disqualified for smoking marijuana.
Yeah, guess what? That's in the rules. Deal with it.
Here, why is it in the rules? It wasn't because of black people in the Olympics smoking marijuana. No, it was a stoner snowboarder at Nagano.
Exactly.
He won gold snowboarding while high. And so now they say, well, it's not a performance enhancing drug, but it's not in the rules. You can't be smoking marijuana before an event. So now we're going to add it into the rules. But, that's another sport. You look at these, extreme sports that they've been bringing into the Olympics for the past, 20 years.
Yeah, nothing more extreme than curling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The only sport where you get better by drinking.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm pretty sure
first-hand experience on that one.
I'm pretty sure you can't curl in the Olympics while drunk. I'm sure they'll give you a breathalyzer and sorry, hoser, you just had too many Molsons before you came out,
Whatever.
But
let me play.
Exactly. But you have these extreme sports, that are coming in out of the X Games and all that. So you're bringing a whole group of athletes where their judges are going, oh, gnarly! I didn't think anyone could do that, bruh. 10. But
exactly,
but then you compare, but then you stack it up against these traditional Olympic sports where, oh my. That someone else trying to do that could get killed. I'm giving you a 7.
Yeah, that's just not right at all. I mean, I didn't even know about the weighted, judging process. I mean, that is absolute bull.
Yeah, it's
and the IOC, the FIG, and the
U.S. Olympic Committee and all that.
The GIF and the U.S. people can all suck it.
Oh,
that's crap.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, how do you push people to become better if you punish the person who's leading the charge on being awesome?
Right, and it's really less of a. I think it's honestly less of a. Well, we don't want athletes to hurt themselves doing something they're not able to. I think it's more of a.
Athletes get hurt.
I think it's more of a. This is a time-honored and respected athletic competition. We cannot be having people doing all these crazy willy-nilly things. We must keep it in line with what we expect, what we've always had in these games.
It's because she's black.
Possibly that too. We British have a stiff upper lip and we don't know what we're talking about when it comes to race.
Of sorts.
Of sorts. There's someone who will have to be, someone who will have to be tagged just for that right there.
and speaking of, not judging her adequately because she's black, the men's basketball team. What a joke and a train wreck and a shit show that is this year at the Olympics.
Well,
they've already lost their first game in group play. They've been riding a losing streak. And this is a team that had been unbeaten in years.
I'm sorry, the last time I watched the men's Olympic basketball team was in Atlanta in 1996. Dream Team Part 2.
Oh, yeah. Now, the most shocking part of these 2020
in 2021,
but in 2021 Olympic Games, the women's USA basketball team. They Standing for the anthem.
Oh yeah,
they are not leaving the court. They are not taking a knee. And Megan Rapinoe's wife, Sue Bird, is leading the charge.
Yes.
Saying that I don't feel like a hypocrite.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like,
I bet you when they get home, there's going to be such a fucking fight. Oh, because there's no sex at the Olympic Village.
Well,
because of the cardboard beds.
But hey,
I'm going to guess that there's going to be a fight when they get home.
That Irish guy proved that you can have quite a bit of impact on those beds. They don't fall apart. So.
And even former Olympians are saying, you know what? They could put in the cardboard beds if they want. They could pass out all the condoms they want. Guess what?
You can still
they can put in all of the restrictions. They're saying sex in the Olympic Village. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. You might as well just stop trying to fight it. We're going to fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're hot.
Yeah. It's human freaking nature. I mean, people have been having sex in stupid places to get around stupid rules for forever. There's a reason why they have a Mile High Club on the freaking airplanes.
Exactly.
Have you seen two people trying to fit in one of those toilets? It doesn't happen.
Okay, now as an athlete, as a former athlete, I should say, there is a period of time before your athletic competition, like usually 48 hours, up to 48 hours before. There's no sex. There's no jerking it. There's no rubbing one out. There's no.
This is more information than I expect to hear on this podcast. But go ahead.
I know. We do some deep dive. We do some deep dive investigative shit around here. Now, the reason that is because once you expend the energy necessary for sex and those types of activities, your body needs at least 48 hours to fully recover energetically.
That makes sense.
So you go into the event pent up as fuck. So, I mean, if you're somebody like me when playing soccer, I would hit the field mad and just pissed off at the world. And I would channel that aggression onto the other players. And as soon as the game was over, as soon as I got home, I mean, you need a release. And that's what these athletes go to the Olympic Village for. They go and they get that release so their body can, start to rebuild and recharge for the next round.
Right. And it's some of the events. It's almost like
this is science. This is scientific shit. So I don't understand why the IOC, why the Olympics are so anti-sex. Guess what? Sex is natural. In the words of George Michael, sex is natural. Sex is fun. Not everybody does it, but everybody should.
And you got to have faith.
Exactly.
Hey,
I'm never going to dance again.
Damn it, you stole my line. I was just thinking the same damn thing. Son of a bitch. Oh, man.
Another product of the generation, man.
Unfortunately. And I'm weird because I'm stuck in between generations. I pick up the Gen X references. I get stuck with the millennial references, and I hate being an in-betweener.
All right, so just out of my own natural curiosity, how old are you?
37.
37. All right, so
don't
1984.
Don't let the gray hairs popping up in the beard fool you.
No, so 1984.
Yeah. So
okay.
So
see,
George Michael, Wham, that's. I would have been really, really young for that. So
But that's what was popular at the time. So even as a youngling, you hear it.
Yingling?
And you know
I love Yingling. It's great beer.
A youngling.
Yingling.
Like those young Jedis. The younglings.
Yeah,
so, I mean, I'm 38, born in 1983. So for me, it was very much the same thing. I mean, my cousin, who's a few years older than me, she was obsessed with GNR, Metallica, and George Michael. She absolutely loved George Michael because of the looks. Little did she know.
I'm trying to do the math here. There's something to this calculus that doesn't make sense. GNR, Metallica, George Michael.
Yeah.
The math does not seem to check out on this.
You're talking mid to late 80s. Yeah, it checks out.
Guns N' Roses, Metallica,
Yeah. Yeah.
George Michael.
Now, George Michael, not Wham George Michael, but George Michael as a solo act. Not when he was putting shuttlecocks in his shorts.
This math does not seem to check out for me. Metal.
I know. Sometimes you just need to have an eclectic taste. And obviously when, like I said, she's only a few years older than me, so she was definitely driven by hormones.
Yes, indeed.
Ooh, I like the bad boys, but ooh, he's so pretty.
Right? Yeah. When it comes to eclectic taste in music, my wife hates my Spotify playlist because she has to make her playlist in neat little packages. All the feel good country over here, all the hip hop over here, all the post grunge rock over here.
Nope.
That's how hers is laid out. Me, I'm just like, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. So you might get Ricky Skaggs going into Five Finger Death Punch on my Spotify playlist. You never know.
Hell yeah.
Go from mandolin to screaming and yelling. I like it.
Oh, I mean, let's see. I've got two different playlists. I've got one that I call mood, which is when I am just angry or just in a foul mood, any which way. I put that on, and it's usually the heavy yelling, screaming music to take a shit to. Exactly. It's Slipknot. It's Disturbed. It's Godsmack. It's
nice.
Classic Metallica. It's
nice.
It's the staples, right? And then
that
I have
sounds
another
like my
one
workout
that is,
mix.
that I have another one that is called Car, which is typically whenever I'm in the car, this is what I'm going to listen to, and it can go from some techno from like BT, Paul Oakenfold, Tiesto, or Deadmau5 or Skrillex to
I recognize Deadmau5.
GNR, Metallica, Slipknot. Then it could go to Nelly or Notorious B.I.G. to Florida Georgia Line to Pogo to I mean,
I at least I recognize at least three of those.
I mean,
the only reason I recognize Deadmau5 is just because Goat Simulator, Deadmau5 has a cameo.
Oh, there you go. So I mean, I'm all about having just a wide variety of taste. The only genre that is really noticeably missing from any of my playlists would be grunge, which is ironic given the background behind me. But that's my wife's deal, not mine. I mean, I could get into it from time to time, but I really have to be in a mood for it.
Right.
And I have to go find the B-sides. I can't listen to the stuff that was always played on the radio.
Oh yeah.
Because that stuff just drives me nuts.
I was like the only Pearl Jam song I like legitimately like is Last Kiss because it's a cover of a 1950s song. And
I was going to say because
Eddie,
it's a cover.
Well, and honestly,
and he did it justice.
Oh, he did
it well.
I love covers that pay tribute to the original while also making it theirs. Eddie Vedder's vocals on Last Kiss did just that.
Disturbed is very good with that.
Oh my God. They're like the greatest cover band of all time.
So good. Yeah, they are so good with the covers. I mean, a lot of their covers are better than their freaking original songs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Shout 2000 was great because while the original was good, I think this one really, brings out the emotion of shout.
Yeah.
The reasons that you would shout.
Yeah.
Then their cover of Phil Collins
Oh yeah, Genesis.
I mean, exactly. Yes. Land of Confusion. I mean, that one's just, it's really good. Sound of Silence.
Oh my God. And here's something I didn't know until that song came out. I was watching an interview with David Draymond talking about it. He's Jewish. He grew up being classically trained to sing the Psalms in temple in Hebrew. And that song just happened so organically in the studio because he said he doesn't do more than an hour and a half, 2 hours in studio because if he's in there longer than he's at a concert, he'll fry his vocal cords.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, and
which happens to a lot of those guys.
And
I mean,
his producer was sitting at a piano and go, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Because they've been talking about doing a cover of it. And he plays those opening chords on piano. 3 hours later, they're editing together the cuts to the way they like it so they can go back and do an actual recording.
Nice.
So it's just,
I mean, that's
just a crazy story of how that one came out.
Let me know when we're going to do the Relentless Daring together, man. I mean,
we'll see what happens.
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the content. I am enjoying doing it. And look, if you're really enjoying it, do me a favor. Go on to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, and leave a 5-star rating. That way, other people can discover the show, and other disgruntled people that just want to complain about things can find a spot where they're welcome. I think that's what we really need to do. We need to let people who want to complain have a spot to go where they can complain or listen to somebody else complain and say, you know what? I'm with you on that. Good job. Because the woke mob, they're all about shutting you down. And that's not what we're going to be doing around here. So go to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, leave a 5-star rating, tell 3 people that you know about it. What have you got to lose? The worst they could do is come back to you and say, you know, I listened to that program that you recommended to me. Don't you dare ever recommend anything to me ever again. Okay? You might lose some credibility, but hey, at least you tried, right? In the next episode of TV's Rob is Unwoke, I'm going to talk a little redneck NASCAR, a little shake and bake, because the NASCAR silly season is in full effect. And there's a lot going on, and I think I have the perfect solution for one of the biggest puzzles in the Cup Series garage right now. But there's plenty more that we're going to get to as well. That's just one thing that I know I'm going to talk about. So, if you want to get in on the action and make your mark on the show, go to anchor.fm/TV's Rob is Unwoke and leave a voice message. I'll play a selection of them in future episodes. Also, if you want to come on the show like Tyler did, which apparently now he's my co-host, third time. Geez, I can't believe it. But if you want to come on like he did and talk about something that's got you going, send me a message on Twitter at TV's Rob Official. We'll discuss whatever's on your mind. Follow me on Twitter at TV's Rob Official as well, where I tweet all sorts of nonsensical things. Special thanks to my wife and producer, Nikki. You can follow her on Twitter at DFW Radio Girly. That's Girly spelled Girlie. Follow her. She keeps you informed and entertained at the same time. You can also follow at Cat Ryoga, the derpy cat executive producer of the show, who's been meowing in the background somewhere at some point. So, and I'm too lazy to take it out of the recording. It's just there. So, hope you don't mind a meowing cat. So that's going to do it for this edition. We'll do it again next time. I'm TV's Rob. This is TV's Rob is Unwoke. That is the actual sound of Ryoga purring into the microphone while headbutting it. No lie. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you next time.